Owen, thank you for reaching out. I'm so happy you're in Scotland, painting your crazy shit. Your paintings are interesting, actually. They are. But let's talk about drawing, because when I look at your drawing, perhaps you don't understand what's the most important about drawing. We're not going to look at Leonardo, I'm so dyslexic, because he's very mystic. Leonardo was analyzing nature as a scientist, as a biologist, for instance, but not Michelangelo, okay? So when you look at Michelangelo and you're really looking closer, in high school I was copying those drawings, I know them by heart. So when you look at how Michelangelo is building up human body, so from one hand there is an impression of all the lines moving in one direction, but he did it to show a motion into that direction, okay? Because when you look at this Adam, for instance, this is Adam with his finger over here, and then there is God over there, where my trash is. So this is the hand of Adam from Sixteen Chapel, right? So I think so, or some other guy. So look at those lines, you see? There is no rubbing dirty finger to create a shadow. So each line creates the sculpture, you understand? Each line gives you a feeling of the curvature of space, you understand? Each line, because the forehead, the nose, and look how gentle lines are in this part of the face, and in this part of the face. Michelangelo was a sculptor. So while drawing this drawing, he knew he has to be very gentle with sandpaper, with polishing this part of the sculpture. This is a painting of a Sixteen Chapel, and this is some saint prophetess, I forgot her name, doesn't matter. The point I'm trying to say is you can tell this is fabric. You close this whole thing, you don't know what you're looking at, but you know this is some kind of fabric, some kind of even waterfall from a mountain like this, right? And you can also tell these are hair. You see, you close everything, you don't know what you're looking at, and you can tell these are hair. So the way you move your lines, they're supposed to reflect texture. Your lines are actually metaphors of reality. This is not how reality looks like, but you're using the lines to build reality. You're using artificial tools, as we artists do. What is artificial tools? It's color. Color is more powerful than black and white. That's true. But since you're trying to build a physical biomass of biological substance, such as face, and diversify it from non-biological, such as fabric, well, it is fucking biological. But what I'm trying to say, you need to be conscious of those little lines. I've never seen this shit. I don't remember this shit. I know Michelangelo by heart, you understand? Because I was copying, like line by line. You can also buy a trace paper, shit like this. It's a very expensive book. And put it over the drawing of Michelangelo and go over with a pencil so you will understand his thinking. You probably copied this, I saw on a big canvas, you had a video there. So listen, I'm very inspired you reached out to me. Oh, this is Michelangelo letters, very famous. Very interesting how he describes his relationship with the Pope. Pope was an art collector. So when I'm telling you how to build relationships with art collectors, this is Empire State Building, Fleet Bank, 2000, September 2000. My daughter was 7 years old or something. So she came to my reception, she brought me a gift or something. Oh, yeah. So Michelangelo is architect as well. So Michelangelo thought of himself as a sculptor. And in many ways he was right, because his colors are not specifically... Okay, this is my color palette, 1997, that became a painting. This is my color palette on a dining table in 1997, just like this dining table, but I'm not painting in the winter time. I'm drawing black and white. I'm developing original symbolism so people can look at shit like this 400 years later and say, oh, Kidding. So the point I'm trying to say, I forgot my fucking point. Okay, let's find a good drawing to show what I'm talking about. Okay, here's another use of lines. In this particular case, the lines are parallel to each other, and they're darkening specific area of the fabric somewhere between the body and the fabric. And they do this to make this fabric less important than human body, but at the same time to build a contrast. Out of contrasts, we build harmony. You don't build harmony out of similar things, you understand? You need to build harmony from opposites I meant in English. So sometimes the lines will go over the whole object in one direction to show this object is secondary. Primary is this object. And this object is drawn curvy. This is Last Judgment. It's on a wall, not on the ceiling in Sixtine Chapel. So the guy who painted this made this drawing. It was stolen by his students and sold. Michelangelo was so fucking pissed because in his times and in our times, what happens in your studio is a secret. It's a mystery, and you don't want to reveal your technological secrets to general public. It's not of their business. So showing how you paint is stupid. In Tao Te Ching, in Chinese Taoism, it says, don't show people your process. Show them only the results. So you don't, I'm a true master, because I can't even explain the true nature of me, the profound infinite complexity of Andrey Bogoslowsky. And this is what Michelangelo meant in this drawing, metaphorically speaking. It's upside down, yes, and you understand this upside down because the way this meat is depicted, you know exactly these are human bodies. This is not a goat. This is not a, I don't know, landscape. This is some kind of human meat. You see this? And he did it with the power of his mastery, okay? And this is what I'm teaching you. Sometimes when you have like a small sketch, this is interesting. Small sketch. This sketch is real tiny. It's smaller than my thumbnail. You understand? The skull. But look how masterly it is expressed. There is every line. No mistake. Linear perspective. This is probably the ladder he was climbing onto the ceiling. Those are silly, stupid things that perhaps don't end up in his paintings, like a fucking giraffe by Michelangelo. Did you know he painted a giraffe? Well, nevertheless. This horse looks like Leonardo da Vinci horse from the Adoration of a Magi, by the way. So he probably thought Leonardo da Vinci was homosexual when he was painting this Adoration of the Magi. They had an argument because they also painted, Leonardo painted this battlefield commissioned by the city of Florence in one room with Michelangelo. So Leonardo fresco was on one wall and Michelangelo the opposite, and they hated each other, okay? They were not close friends. They were young men at the court of Medici, and Leonardo, I think, was older, and they were sort of competing for the same resources, basically. Okay, so once you know how to use line appropriately, how to build a shadow on the face with a line, and not with rubbing your dirty finger in it. When you rub your dirty finger in it, you kill the paper. Your paper will lose the radiance it should have. You understand? As you rub it, even a razor. When you take an eraser and you rub it once, it sort of rapes the paper. In Europe, expression was raping the paper, abusing the paper, torturing in canvas. If I'm repainting it for 10 years, I'm fucking torturing it. I'm not able to express profound, deep emotions lightly. And I keep going back and back and back. Well, not on those flowers, because these are this size, 8 by 11. I remember I had a printer paper, but heavy one, with different colors. So those painted, those are my first flowers, 1997, or 98. So this is a lecture about those lines specifically, okay? I recommend you buy a black and white book by Michelangelo, get a tracing paper, literally, and go line by line and try to remember what I was talking about, what I'm talking about. You understand? So the subject matters don't matter. Whether it's a monster face, whether it's fuck knows what. I'm destroying my expensive book. So what matters is acquiring skills that you will be. It's a very famous painting, so he made this drawing. Why the baby is not made out of those little lines I'm talking about? Because he's trying to show very gentle, very soft skin of the baby. But somewhere here, he is using those lines to show how the leg of the Jesus is going into the shadow. You understand? Why he didn't work out any detail on the face of the woman, of the Mary? Because this particular drawing is a study of a child's skin, child's body. He's not focusing in this drawing, and he doesn't care to finish it because this is not a finished artwork. This is an attempt to resolve specific problems in composition, and in this particular case, texture. Texture will relate to how to show babies have gentle skin, and people, grown-ups, don't have this baby skin, okay? So that's why this drawing exists. That's why it came. That's the concept behind that drawing, by the way. This is what I'm teaching you. This is something small, okay? This is smaller than it looks in this book. You see these letters? They're much smaller. People didn't write the big type. So this drawing is this little in real life. So it's an ink and pen drawing, which I recommend you become good at, because it will teach you how to do exactly what I'm telling you, how to build a three-dimensional sculpted human body or any other curved object with lines, and how often those lines and how hard you press your pencil or charcoal depends how deep those lines are, how dark they need to be. Sometimes you don't make any lines, you leave the place absolutely empty, like in Rembrandt drawings. This is not Rembrandt, this is Michelangelo. But Rembrandt really got to the top, expressing with one line human hand. Well, Michelangelo didn't care about, Rembrandt was 300 years later, right? So all these little sketches, they're good, but when you get this black and white book by Michelangelo, your main objective will be understanding the philosophy behind those little lines building human torso. This is a body of Jesus, I think, from the Last Judgment. Look. Analyze the thinking. From drawing, you can analyze, decipher, and understand the mind of a genius, because it's like being in a kitchen and learning how the food is prepared, the best food in the world.